Hey everyone, it's Magic Prepper. Just wanted to go ahead and talk about the video game Days Gone. It's an exclusive for PS4. Just recently played through it for a little bit and started to get a good idea about what the concept of the game is, and felt like it had a really good relation to what we all kind of assume would be kind of like an SHTF post-apocalyptic environment. As you can see, my wife and I are both pretty avid gamers. I do think that there is time in between prepping and building skills to actually enjoy yourself and work your way into some entertainment of some kind. So why not use some of that time with your entertainment to keep your mind kind of turning and think about different ways that the inevitable collapse might actually occur using references from pop culture. So when it comes to movies, books, video games, anything that we consume that's more for like an entertainment value than per se nonfiction, factual information. I still like it to have some kind of relevance to concepts that you might actually be able to apply in case that scenario ever unfolds. The game Days Gone definitely has a lot of those concepts, and I think they did a pretty good job of exploring the different dynamics of those situations that might occur. From being an open world game where you're free to kind of roam wherever you'd like, and there could be danger around any corner, to all of the little nuances that we expect, after a pandemic, ravages the entire country, and the character you follow, Deacon St. John, is just left over in the rural parts of Oregon. So, why do I think the game has relevance, to prepping and SHTF, and why, as a prepper, am I making a video about a video game? Well, obviously, there's more to life than just prepping, but if it has relevance, why not, include it with some of the topics that we can go over? And this game definitely has relevance. It's the end of the world. There are, existential threats everywhere you turn around. And it has a lot of the elements that we all, as preppers, definitely try to keep ourselves involved with when it comes to having to collect supplies, when it comes to gaining knowledge about firearms, and using different weapons, and using situational awareness. All those things are definitely taken care of in this game. So the basic strategies: you walk around. There's these things called freakers, which are the aftermath versions of humans during the pandemic. Basically a different version of zombies, right? So these freakers are walking around. You have to either kill them or avoid them, use stealth in order to accomplish certain missions. At the same time, there's also factions of regular humans still walking around that want your stuff, or perhaps have just kind of lost it and are in a murderous mood. So you do have your ambush parties, or your camps, that are full of baddies, basically, who want to destroy you at every possible turn. And then there's also the Rippers, which are a cult, basically, that formed after this pandemic ravaged the world, and decided that everyone else should be just like the freakers, and if you become one, it should be considered a positive thing. So they've clearly lost it. They're more than willing to torture and kill and maim in any way possible. So, when you run into these people on the road, maybe they set a roadside trap, maybe they have a sniper tower that you don't see, whatever it is, they find a way to try to, take you down on a regular basis. The game also likes to throw in the element of nature as well. So once in a while, you find yourself dealing with, predators of some kind. There's wolves, there's bears, and you also do have the occasional opportunity to hunt deer and bring meat back to the other encampments. Now there is a community that's built in the game where you can go around bartering, trading, getting all the hot commodities like gasoline for your motorcycle, which you get to ride around on, which, by the way, is probably the coolest part of the entire game, because it is like free riding on a motorcycle, jumping over, hordes of zombies, or freakers, I should say, and all that other good stuff. So it does have the element of community building. You walk around, you kind of gain trust and loyalty with those communities, and by doing so, you open yourself up to more access of different perks that they offer. So, very similar to how you would expect, civilization to start to rebuild in case there was an SHTF scenario. The other thing is that there is this government organization that you constantly run into named Nero, or the National Emergency Response Organization. That is just a mixture of basically FEMA and the Umbrella Corporation from Resident Evil. It is a scientifically based government organization working on trying to find a cure or a way to get rid of the freaker situation in general. And at the same time, they're very ruthless in their tactics, and they don't really want anyone else around. So I wouldn't consider them friendly. I would say that they generally open fire at you at every possible turn, and you find them mostly riding around in helicopters and advanced forms of transportation that you don't have access to. So they roll around, they're heavily armed, and they're trying to do their experiments to figure out if there's a way to solve this problem that's become a global issue. So all in all, I'd say the game is definitely fun. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of little things you get to do. Crafting. You can make your Molotov cocktails. You can make yourself different styles of bandages. There's also the element of like the firearms. You can finally find yourself upgrading from a 22 rifle into something along the AR-15 platform, and it just goes on from there. At the same time, I also think that there's a pretty good story and dialogue going on. Your wife and you get separated in the beginning. A lot of the game is you trying to find out if she's still alive, and at the same time running into all the other people that you've built relationships with over the time period of the outbreak. So, do I think that Days Gone is the best game they ever made? No, I don't think so, but do I think it's a game worth playing, and it's definitely fun, especially if you like games that pertain to the idea of prepping or post-apocalyptic society, and kind of like how the collapse kind of falls apart, Games like the Last of Us, or even Fallout are going to have this same kind of feel to them where, everything's collapsed, and this is years after the collapse, and you get to start experiencing life in the mode of survival. So, definitely worth picking up if you're a PS4 gamer, and if you are a prepper and, you are somebody who likes to mainly build your skills and build your preps. That's totally cool. Yes, the PlayStation setups and everything we have here could be, a lot of storage of food or ammunition or whatever you want it to be. But generally, you still need hobbies. You need things that are fun and entertaining. And, I do like to kind of keep the theme, when possible. But at the same time, it's just one of those things that, if you're a prepper, but you also have other interests, why not go through them, right? So, hopefully I can do some more videos about different things like gaming or hobbies that I have or anything else like that can kind of pertain to the idea of staying prepared and keeping your mind sharp. I would actually admit that video games alone have definitely helped hone my hand-eye coordination over the years, and definitely made me a better shot when out at the range. That sounds silly, I'm sure, to some of the guys here who mainly go shooting and never play video games, but I honestly believe that, playing games, first-person shooters, everything else, and just having that hand-eye coordination that's necessary for playing games helped kind of make me into, more of a marksman than I was before. So, just something to keep in mind, out here in North Dakota when it gets -30 or there's a tornado outside, we're generally going to be down here in the basement hanging out and enjoying ourselves, and not out there trying to find out if I can, survive long enough in -30 degrees. So, just my 2 cents on the game. Days Gone, worth picking up if you have a PS4. And that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.